I want to talk about what it actually takes to grow an audience on the internet, because I know that a lot of you guys have been trying to get traffic to your site, to build a following and get that audience that you can eventually monetize. So what does it really take? What's actually involved in building that audience? Well, let me get some light on my face for you. So it's probably not what you think. It's probably going to take longer and be more difficult than you realize, because what it actually takes is a consistent effort over time to produce content that eventually compounds and then snowballs. And when that happens, that's when you're going to make the passive income. That's when things are going to start to happen, and you will start to see growth with less effort. But it takes time to get to that point. It takes a lot of work to get that point. So how do you do it? Well, you have to produce a piece of content at least every week, bare minimum. So you have to imagine that each piece of content that you create is going to have relevant keywords. It's going to hopefully rank in Google and other search engines for those keywords. So what happens then is that's going to take time, right? It's going to take a while to rank for that content. And you imagine each piece of content out there is almost like, it's like a fishing line with a piece of bait on it, right? So if you have more fishing lines, and it's actually Cam Jennings came up with this analogy, and I really do agree with it, and that's why I'm using it. But you imagine each piece of content has, in effect, works like a fishing line, and it's there to lure in the fish. So the more lines you have, the more fish you catch, right? Now that's going to take time, but to really grow big, to really do it, you have to be consistent, because there are algorithms at play. So what happens is Google and other search engines will have a look at how often you are publishing content, and then they will come to almost expect content from you. So if you are publishing every week, then Google knows that it should expect content from you every week, and it will crawl your website according to your output. Now, for example, I used to run a news website, and that became pretty successful. And I noticed that Google was crawling that website at least an hour. That's how often, we were putting out content all the time. So Google expected to get content from us. Now, if you're putting out one piece of content every week, that gives you 50 lines out in the sea or wherever to bring in these fish. But if you are producing one piece of content every single day, then that gives you, instead of having 52 a year, you now have 365. If you produce 2 pieces of content a day, that's kind of into maths that I can't do, right? So what I want you to do is think about how much content you're putting out, and then you have to be consistent with it. And eventually that is going to compound over time. That is going to start to snowball. And when that happens, that's when you get the passive income. That's when you get people actually going out and doing a level of marketing for you, because they start sharing your stuff. And that's how you grow, eventually, an authority website. And that's exactly what you want to achieve. You want to have that authority site eventually. Okay, if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you want to get more videos like this, hit subscribe and you'll get them. Bye.